This video discusses a real murder case involving graphic violence and sensitive topics. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Over the years of being a lover of true crime channels, I've seen and heard dozens of true crime stories. Some chilling, some heartbreaking, some downright evil. But this one case stands apart from all the rest. When I first stumbled across it, I refused to believe it could be real. It felt too grotesque, too nightmarish, like something cooked up in the darkest corners of the internet to give people chills and nightmares. I kept thinking, no human being could do something this cruel. Yet the more I researched, the clearer it became. This wasn't fiction. This was the murder of Katarzyna Zowada in Kraków, Poland. A crime so vicious that even seasoned detectives struggled to sleep afterward. And some needed professional help to process what they'd seen. And shockingly, as we sit here in January 2026, the case remains unsolved. Let's go back to the moment the nightmare surfaced. January 6, 1999. A tugboat named the Elk glides along the frozen Vistula River in Kraków. The crew notices resistance in the propeller and stops to clear it. What they haul up isn't trash or driftwood. It's pale, flexible, disturbingly human-like. As they examine it closer, a chill runs through them. Attached to the material is a clear human ear. They've recovered human skin, carefully removed from a body in one large piece, preserved and stitched in a way that suggests it was meant to be worn. The find ripples through the city like a shockwave, leaving everyone who hears about it reeling. For the investigators called to the scene, those images would linger for years. Nightmares, flashbacks, therapy sessions. This wasn't just a murder, it was something far darker. To grasp how devastating this was, we need to meet the young woman at the center of it all. Kraków in the late 1990s was a city of ancient beauty and new hope, emerging from years of communism into a vibrant world of universities and possibility. This is where 23-year-old Katarzyna Zowada, Kasia to those who loved her, called home. Born on June 3, 1975, she was a theology student at the prestigious Jagiellonian University, a quiet, kind, and deeply thoughtful young woman with a gentle spirit and a passion for spiritual questions. Friends described her as intelligent and devoutly Catholic, someone who loved philosophical discussions and peaceful walks through the historic streets. She lived a simple life with her mother in Nowa Huta, an only child who shared a close bond with her family. Life hadn't been easy for Kasia. In 1996, her father died suddenly in a tragic hiking accident, leaving a wound that ran deep. The grief triggered severe depression, and Kasia showed incredible strength by seeking help. She attended therapy sessions diligently at a local psychiatric clinic, working through her pain while pursuing her studies. She was resilient, sensitive, and full of untapped potential, a young woman navigating the challenges of adulthood with quiet determination. No one could have imagined the darkness waiting just around the corner. November 12, 1998. It started like any other day. Kasia left her apartment for university classes, planning to meet her mother later that evening at the clinic for her routine therapy appointment. Her mother waited outside the clinic, growing more anxious by the minute. When Kasia didn't answer calls and never came home, alarm turned to panic. That same evening, she was reported missing. Searches began immediately, family, friends, police combing the streets of Kraków, but there were no signs, no clues. Just an eerie silence where a bright young life should have been. Little did anyone know. The truth was far more horrifying than they could imagine, and what was coming next would change everything. Weeks had now turned into months with no trace of Kasia. The searches grew less frequent, hope fading in Krakow's cold winter air. Police explored every angle. Could she have run away? Taken her own life amid her struggles? But her mother knew better. Kasia wouldn't just disappear without a word. By early 1999, the case had gone cold. A missing student in a city full of them. Then everything changed, in the most unimaginable way. January 6, 1999. The tugboat crew's discovery hits the headlines. DNA tests confirm the worst. The meticulously prepared human skin belongs to Katarzyna Zowada. Forensic experts describe it factually. The skin dissected with expert precision from the torso, treated and sewn as if intended for clothing. It's a level of depravity that shocks even seasoned investigators. The case is immediately reopened and codenamed Skóra, Polish for skin. Just days later, on January 14th, more horror surfaces. Kasia's right leg is recovered from the Vistula River, showing signs of dismemberment and decapitation. No other remains are found, suggesting the killer deliberately scattered or disposed of the rest. Detectives arrive at the scene, piecing together a crime scene unlike anything in Polish history. Many would later admit the images stayed with them. Nightmares, lasting trauma, some seeking therapy to process the sheer brutality. This wasn't a random act. It pointed to someone with anatomical knowledge, a sadistic mind capable of prolonged violation. But as they dug deeper, what they uncovered about how Kasia died made the discovery seem almost tame by comparison, and the questions only grew. Who could do this? And why her? The investigation was about to reveal a killer's chilling profile, but getting to the truth would take decades. Forensic reconstruction painted a horrifying timeline. After her abduction, likely along her daily route, Kasia endured days or possibly weeks of captivity. She suffered severe beatings, torture with a sexual motive, and deliberate, precise wounds. Sharp cuts to her neck, armpit, and groin caused her to bleed out slowly. But the violation didn't end there. After death, the perpetrator decapitated and dismembered her remains with surgical skill, then meticulously removed the skin from her torso, treating it, dissecting it cleanly from ear to groin, and sewing it in a way that suggested a grotesque intent. This wasn't rage. It was methodical, calculated depravity requiring real anatomical skill and a profoundly sadistic mind. And chillingly, this profile would soon point to a man who had crossed paths with Kasia before. A man whose dark history was about to come crashing into the investigation, but proving it would take nearly 2 decades, and even then, justice would slip away in ways no one saw coming. If you are yet to subscribe, kindly do and turn on this channel's notifications. The psychological profile described a perpetrator who thrived on control and suffering. Someone with dissection experience, possibly martial arts training, and a chilling comfort with skin preservation. The investigation stalled by 2000, becoming another painful cold case. Kasia's mother never gave up hope. In 2012, new forensic techniques revived it, remains exhumed, detailed injury models created. Then, in 2017, a tip changed everything. An anonymous letter implicating Robert Janczewski, a local man police had quietly suspected since 1999. Born in 1965, he'd worked in university dissection labs and a zoology institute, preparing animal skins until he was fired for slaughtering all the lab rabbits in an unexplained rage. He had martial arts training, a history of harassing women, a loose connection to Kasia through the university, and had been seen visiting her grave. October 2017. Police found blood traces in his apartment. Arrest followed. Charges of aggravated murder with exceptional cruelty. For the first time in nearly 2 decades, justice seemed close. The trial brought twists no one expected. Evidence piled up behind closed doors. In 2022, a lower court convicted him and handed down life imprisonment. Kasia's family finally dared to hope, but on October 31, 2024, the appeals court overturned everything, acquitting Janczewski on the principle of reasonable doubt. he walked free. As of January 2026, no new charges have been filed and the case sits unsolved once more. This is the enduring tragedy of Katarzyna Zowada, a kind, resilient young woman whose life held so much promise, cut short in unimaginable horror with her killer still out there, perhaps forever beyond reach. Let's remember Kezia not for the cruelty she suffered, but for the gentle light she brought to those around her. If this story stayed with you, drop a like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more true crime cases that deserve attention. And tell me in the comments, what do you think really happened? Stay safe out there, because sometimes the monsters are closer than we realize.